All right, this video is going to be my attempt to discuss, present, and talk about my thoughts about the Ravens' fourth quarter coverages. I will be honest with you, I don't know that my thoughts are going to be complete here. I will show film from 3 games. I believe I will show film from the Jacksonville game, the fourth quarter collapse there defensively. Show 3 plays from that game, maybe 4. Show 3 plays from the Dolphins' loss in week 2 at home. And then the entire touchdown drive that Mitch Trubisky orchestrated to close the Steelers to within 16-14 that kind of really scared all of us. I mean, myself included. Like, for someone to say they weren't scared or concerned at that point after Trubisky just took them downfield, that's got to be a lie. You know, there was clearly an opportunity for the Steelers to get the ball back another time. And that possession, that touchdown possession that I'm talking about, where basically the Steelers just threw the ball all over us. I think it is their 9th possession. The previous possession, Calais Campbell had blocked the field goal, fortunately for us, right? Could have closed them to within 13-10. Then we go downfield, amazing drive. Anthony Brown has a couple of great throws. We run the ball down the Steelers' throat. We take a 16-7 lead. And then they zip right downfield, 37-yard gain, 13-yard gain. After 2 incompletions, 10-yard touchdown. Are there problems with our fourth quarter defense? Yes. I know that some people don't like the longer lead-in, so my apologies for that. I want to break down the film as I see it, and then I want to give you my thoughts on the overriding issues. To be simplistic, you have a readjustment of the Ravens' defensive concepts and structure. We are more multiple now in our coverages and in our stunts. We do more things. We are trying to execute more techniques. We are asking guys to execute multiple techniques. What's the problem with that? Compare it to Wink's system, which was more simplistic, right? Play man free, and the multiplicity, well, the versatility was up front in the stunts. But in playing man, you're just playing man. And when you have the 2019 version of Jimmy Smith and Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey, healthy Marcus Peters, then you can do that and you can be successful against 80% of the teams in the NFL. There is no question about that. There is a ceiling there, and we saw that ceiling. We were exposed in certain big moments. That coverage was exposed by compressed formations. However, oftentimes, at least we were in the right place. At least we weren't blowing coverages. To take the Wink perspective on it, we at least knew what we were supposed to do, and the failure or the breakdown would have been just getting beat in man. This is a different thing now. I will say that over the course of the season, blown coverages and executing multiple techniques seems to even out. It does even out, in my opinion. I'm going to get to the film, let it run a little bit here. I know the lead-ins are longer and kind of annoy some people, so my apologies. All right, 3 plays from the Jacksonville game that kind of just show who we can be at times in terms of inconsistency. I mean, let's be honest. We are 1 fumble recovery away right here from being 9-3 right now. 10-3, excuse me. I think I give you the end zone angle, but this is going to be 3 plays in a row that show you, I didn't give you the end zone angle, my apologies, that show you how inconsistent we are with what we do. 4-man rush. We get the sack that we wanted. We appear to me to be playing cover 3. Underneath droppers here. Cover 3 designation there. You know, we're a little close here, but it's a 2nd and 10. We're giving up the underneath throws. The only guy who hasn't got the memo is, let's be honest, the best player on our team every week except the Steelers game this past week is Marlon Humphrey. He's taken away this underneath drag by Zay Jones, and that is the reason why Lawrence has to try to escape trouble, can't get rid of the football because Zay Jones is not open. And the very next play, we come up with this crazy stuff. We talked about this after the Jacksonville game. Don't need to, hammer the point home, but watch this in comparison to the next play. 3rd and 21. We kind of can't handle success defensively. Something great happens, and then it's like we've got to give up 15 yards to make things interesting. It's a weird dynamic. We're still rushing 4, I'm going to say something you will not like. A lot of you will not like. If this is what you're going to do, you might as well rush 3. I mean, if this is what you're going to do, you might as well have 3 underneath guys between the numbers, here to here. Yeah. I'm saying what you think I'm saying, and then 3 guys rushing, so that's 6, and then a 4 deep, some kind of 4 deep or something like that. Whatever you want to do, something to whereby you can cover the underneath stuff and not give up 15 yards on 3rd and 21, which makes this 4th down situation more frustrating for us. Yeah, Marvin Jones beats Brandon Stevens, no doubt. But look at how schizophrenic. I need to find a better word. Look at how polar opposite we are in terms of what we do on this 4th and 5 versus the 3rd and 21. Well, it makes sense, right? You don't want to do this right here on 3rd and 21. You wouldn't have to do this in your brain if you weren't so soft on 3rd and 21. I think we are inconsistent in our execution sometimes as players. I think we are inconsistent in our application of our thoughts as coaches at times. We try to get too cute, to put it bluntly. And in trying to get too cute, we ask players to execute too much at times. Now, if this down here is 2019 Jimmy Smith, this is an incomplete pass, game over. If this is Marlon Humphrey being targeted, ball's probably knocked down, game over. This is Marcus Peters on the other side of the field. It could be game over, it could be pick 6. Yes, it could be completed, all right? But my point is 2019, 3 elite coverage guys playing a lot of man under Wink's system. If you're a Wink supporter and someone who says, hey, why don't we do those things, then that would be your justification. That's not mine. I'm just explaining it in that manner. Watch how inconsistent we are right here. Now these 2 guys are playing great. I personally think that in these game-winning situations, you need to put your players in the spot on the field that they're going to defend, either man or zone, and don't try to be cute. Let it run a couple of times. Roquan has done this sometimes, all right, whereby he looks at the receiver and then allows the ball to be thrown, to his side where he should have stayed on a particular leverage side. But there's a couple of things to say here. Look at the way that Pat Queen and Roquan are playing it in terms of depth. Now rewind it. They've switched. Pre-snap, Roquan is at the line, and he's got to get out of here. Now, we do, to the boundary with Patrick Queen, play a lot of man on the running back. In my opinion, that could influence him to stay at that depth because he's generally looking for the running back to leak out, and he may, in fact, be doing that here. This may be man with Queen, and he's identified that the running back has taken too long to get out of here, so he wants to stay in this area to at least be a barrier for the quarterback to throw the ball in that direct line. Hopefully that makes sense. So that may be contributing to his depth. He's waiting to go with the running back if the running back releases early. Hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense. My point is the depth of our guys is not consistent. Roquan is the guy who's being asked to defend deeper. Yet he's the player who is lined up further away from his assigned area. Let's be very simplistic with it. To me, Patrick Queen is the guy who's lined up in the area that he needs to be in terms of, that route, in terms of, a zig route or the running back running, all the way across here if Patrick Queen is, in fact, man-to-man coverage on him. That's my point. We sometimes, it seems to me, are trying to be cute, trying to fool the offense, and we're lining up guys in inconsistent locations for the job that they are being asked to do. Hopefully that makes sense. This is a 3rd and 6. Look, it's a great play. All right, to Zay Jones. It's man. Brandon Stevens goes with the little out and up. Doesn't take much sometimes, and it's a great throw. Trevor Lawrence has been balling. Although they got their asses kicked by the Lions, but otherwise they've been balling, since this game. But look what we've got here. Just look pre-snap. Is there consistency? If you're a great defense, and I'm talking about the historically great defenses, which is unfair to compare this Ravens defense to, the Seattle Seahawks, when they made it to 2 Super Bowls, they played cover 3. Now, they played some other coverages, right? They're going to be in a somewhat consistent alignment pre-snap. We are not. We are aligned inconsistently because we're playing so many different coverages. In my opinion, that doesn't help our players. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. There are times when that doesn't help our players. As the season progresses, as the season moves on and we're asked to do those things more often, theoretically we should get better at it. This is one of the most annoying ones. This will probably cause this video to be demonetized, to be honest with you, because I think this was used in a NFL highlight reel, whatever. So, touchdown pass to Hill up top against JAD. Don't worry about that shit. Look at this right here. There's no awareness to the player matchup. Why is that? Because we're being cute. We're being asked to do something. This is where Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams are both essentially running with Waddle up the middle. Someone has a blown assignment here. Someone has a blown call. It's a 3rd and 6. It's an easy throw for Tua, against a rookie who appears to think he's got help. He does not. It looks like to me someone should be running the pipe, and then someone should be the half-field defender over here when you have your other half-field defender over here. I'm calling it cover 2 from that standpoint. Now, Marcus Peters is off pretty far, but so is JAD. It's a 3rd and 6, so we're going to let the ball be completed in front, possibly. I'm saying that either Marcus Williams or Kyle Hamilton messed it up. Why? Why would they do that? Because we have so many damn coverage calls, and we're trying to have the players execute all of them. And at times that's impossible to do. Is Mike McDonald's system untenable? No. Can it succeed? Absolutely. It is succeeding. Maybe there are times we need to whittle down the coverages. Maybe there are times we need to use less coverages. I want to say to you that the fourth quarter coverage breakdowns, it's taken me 11, 12 minutes to get here, is because we're trying to be so multiple that at times our players are reacting. I don't necessarily think that, JAD is going to stop Tyreek Hill from catching this ball, period. But look at how many different things we're doing. We're blitzing Kyle Hamilton. When have you seen us do this since then? So over the course of the season, I believe we have learned what we can and cannot do, what we should and should not do in terms of who we have on the field. Were we to go back and play this fourth quarter against the Dolphins again, defensively, without Marlon Humphrey, we would probably still give up some big plays. I don't think we would give up as many big plays, but look, sometimes it's just the player not doing his job. We're trying to bracket Hill with Peters and Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams just misses the tackle. Just does. That's a play he's perfectly capable of making. Now, it's a 1st and 10. Miami's rolling at this point, so they're probably going to get multiple cracks at this first down, and maybe they convert it either way, but they shouldn't have got it on this one. Or they're close to it. Chuck Clark makes the play. It looks like it's scored a 9-yard gain. My point is sometimes it's player execution. Sometimes it's the coaches not recognizing I shouldn't call 4 different coverages, 4 different alignments over the span of 4 consecutive plays. There has to be a little bit more consistency, in my opinion, and maybe that's my own background being so simple compared to the NFL level. I want consistency. I want to see some consistency. Give me some multiplicity. Be multiple, be versatile, but don't go too far. All right, this is the field goal that puts us up 16-7. We're feeling great. We should be. We're physically dominant over this Steelers team with the run game, and we think we're in a great position to get a win. Roquan Smith here. Great play, man-to-man. I think this is 2-man. So he's manned up on the tight end. Queen is manned up on someone to the boundary. I think you're getting an out here. Queen's playing there. You're getting a little out here. Smith is playing there. I think gets a pass defended. So we look good, right? 1st and 10, first play, incomplete pass. We're all good. All we got to do is keep things in front. We go cover 3 on the next play, so we went man and then cover 3. Marlon didn't get the memo. Earlier I said it because it was beneficial to us that Marlon didn't get the memo. Here, I'm not sure what's going on. I think we're dropping to cover 3. I think Marcus Williams is dropping down. I think Chuck Clark is dropping back. Peters is getting some depth. Marlon is not. And he ends up getting beat deep. There is no way. He just doesn't look, in this game, he didn't look as smooth in his transitions, in his turns. Look at his hips. Looks like a different guy than what we've seen this year. I haven't seen that from Marlon Humphrey. So there's times where the players are just inconsistent. I actually like walking Marcus Williams down some. He's really good at it, in my opinion. I would say to you that in these situations, I kind of want to have the field more evenly distributed. One safety lined up somewhere in this area, one safety lined up somewhere in this area. Let those guys react to the ball. If we bring four, we bring four. They call Matabike for this penalty because he lands on the quarterback. Oh, man, I don't care. I just don't care. Those things, that's just football. Stop throwing the ball so many times and your quarterback won't get hit. Yeah, that is a real tenet of football. And if you're too young to understand that, I'm sorry. Stop throwing the football 40 times a game and your quarterback won't get hit 12 times a game. That's just simple math. But in any case, they've protected the quarterbacks and they've changed the game. They've changed a lot of the fabric of the game. A great catch. I don't think Roquan plays this bad. Now, having said that, it's a little China out here. I think Hamilton plays it better than he's played that route in the past. And then I think you're getting basically, a slant post by Pickens and Hayward. Unbelievable by Hayward. All right? Unbelievable catch. That's what you're getting. And then you have the little, China out or whip route by the point man. Roquan, in my opinion, is too lateral here. As to get some depth. That's what inside linebackers should do, get some depth. Again, we are to the boundary with the running back with Queen, so he's not getting as much depth because I think he's on the running back man, and you can see that here. So it looks like we're playing man to the boundary, to the one receiver side with Humphrey and Queen on the back, and then we're playing our zone to the bottom side, the trip side, where the formation is, the three receivers. It's an unbelievable catch. Unbelievable. So give them credit. Having said that, I feel like Roquan is just way too reactive to this route here. And look, guys, Roquan's an amazing player. We should re-sign him. He's a great player, one of the best inside linebackers in the league, one of the best guys we've had, and that's saying something. But this is the relative weakness of his game at times, is being a little too reactive. I wonder if our system of being so multiple with coverage isn't going to ask him to do too much. Here's what I mean. Generally ball on the hash. Queen seems to be assigned to the running back, man. Especially if it's the one receiver side. If it's the two receiver side, then maybe the coverage is different, okay? Roquan is the guy who is, to me, looks more multiple in coverage. Why? Because he can do that. There is a moment at which we're asking someone to do too much in certain moments. I don't know where that is. I'm offering to you that that's a possibility. All right. Again, the formation to the field. Queen is manned on the back. Great job on the running back. Ball is on the left hash. So Queen, man there. So it's a Louis call or Maryland or lock or whatever you want to call it. Roquan does a great job staying inside of Hayward this time. Great coverage up top by Marlon. All good. If you want to say, hey, I think we should play more man, then, go right ahead. I like two man in some of these situations where the ball is further away from the end zone. All right, slot fade. And even though it's incomplete, I still don't think that Humphrey looks great on it. It's an incomplete pass. Hamilton's doing a nice job down here on Freiermuth, I think, here. And he's definitely pointing over here. I don't know what he's saying, but he's really pointing where the ball ends up being thrown, which is interesting to me. Humphrey didn't look smooth. Things looked ragged. Look at the turn here. That is not what Marlon Humphrey's been doing this year. Is it? Very reactive. Different technical ceiling or floor, I guess. Because, to me, that game was his floor. Different tactical and different technique. Let's put it that way. All right, another double slant. And we kind of take the bait, in my opinion. 83 is running underneath. Draws just enough of Roquan's attention for 88 to slide back in here, catch it between Kyle and Roquan, who cannot recover. What's the issue? Are we too multiple? Maybe we're too multiple in these moments. Just because we can execute them in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, maybe even in the fourth quarter, doesn't mean that we should be asked to in these high stress moments. I don't know if that is true, guys. I'm throwing out possible ideas. Last year, my criticism of Wink's defense and in previous years would not have been that we're too multiple. It would have been that we're too predictable. Well, I sound hypocritical saying both of those things. I don't think I am, because there's a fine line between being predictable and being too multiple and asking your players to execute too many techniques and thereby having a reduced level of efficiency over time. Is that what has happened to the Ravens defense all year? No. Has it happened a few times? Yes. In my opinion, it has. Has there been player breakdowns? Coach Harbaugh and other people refer to it as execution. There's even like smart-ass people who are like throwing shade at Coach Harbaugh by saying execution with like quotes around it. Yes, there's player execution issues. There's times where the players know the coverage and it seems relatively simple for them to execute it, but they don't do so. Witness the Marcus Williams' inability to tackle Tyreek Hill on a very simple 5-yard in pass. But that was his assignment, to be inside leverage of Hill, and he was unable to do so. That's on him. So, coaches, players, all of them, occasionally have had those breakdowns. In my opinion, we do push the envelope. We do step on the gas in terms of being versatile and multiple, and at times I think we got to kind of dial back from that. Got to be a weird situation for Harbaugh. Now he's got someone, McDonald, who's almost like a different version of Wink for parts of the game. And then you still have these moments where he's very Wink-ish. So I like McDonald. I'll be honest with you. I am glad that we have him. He's a young guy. Looks like someone who will be with us for a while, assuming that we are successful with him. Let's do it that way. Assuming that we are successful with McDonald, then we would like him to be around for a long time, right? You think about the Bengals defensive coordinator. I just found out today he's 56 years old. I thought he was like 12 years older. I mean, he's in prime position to look for a head coach job if the Bengals make another run in the playoffs or if they win the Super Bowl. With the way that defense has been constructed, yeah, they threw a lot of money at it, but someone had to put it together. Someone had to coordinate it, and he's done a great job. At 56, that's time to be a head coach. It ain't Mike McDonald's time. If he's successful, if we can iron out these issues, if he can find the right touch in terms of being multiple, in terms of being aggressive, and it does look like to me there's times where we're playing better in man than we are in some of our read coverages. If McDonald can find the right touch, then it's a good thing that we hired him young. We could keep him for 8, 10, 12 years, something like that. Who knows how the system works? Let me know what you think of my thoughts. I feel like my perspective is a little simplistic because of my background as a high school coach, having never been anywhere near the NFL level. If some people in the comment sections asked me, suggested or requested a look at the Ravens' fourth quarter coverages, I wasn't going to go into 50 plays from 6 different games. I thought showing the plays from the Jacksonville game where we looked like 3 different defenses on 3 consecutive plays in terms of where we're lined up and the mentality that we're taking. I feel like there needs to be a little more consistency in those moments. If that's going to be a man-to-man focus, then fine, but I don't know that suits our personnel with Kyle Hamilton as our slot corner. And, were we to have Fuller around, then I think that could be a little different. Fuller's, gives us more options in terms of man, being able to keep up with certain guys. But even still, I'm not sure that outside of Marlon, we have shut down man-to-man defenders. Patrick Queen's doing a great job on running backs into the boundary. I think it's obvious that Marlon has been our best man-to-man defender this year overall, but he looked terrible against the Steelers pretty much the whole game. So sometimes players have a bad game. Sometimes coaches have bad moments. Unfortunately, we've had multiple bad moments in the fourth quarter with our defense, and it is a real issue. This was my attempt to offer my thoughts on it. I think we swung the pendulum really far from the Wink side to a different side. People want to say there's Wink Martindale defensive coordinators, then there's Dean Pease defensive coordinators, and there's drastic differences between them. There are certainly. I think Mike McDonald is 1/3 Wink, 2/3 Dean Pease, maybe something like that. But maybe that's not even fair. Maybe it's 40% Wink and 60% Dean Pease. Let me know what you think of my thoughts throughout the film study portion of the video. Again, this video is probably going to get demonetized, so if you ever consider donating to justify the time that I put into it, because this one probably did take me about 2.5 hours, now would be the time to do so, because once it's posted up for a day, I'm going to get the notification from YouTube that it's demonetized, because I believe I used to play Tyreek Hill's touchdown up the top side of the screen against the Ravens in week 2. That's going to pull the monetization function and cause me to have to re-edit. So appreciate you guys' time. Wanted to give you a little insight there into why some of the comprehensive videos like this one are a little frustrating, because the more plays you use as a content creator, the better chance there is that you're going to use a play the NFL has already used. And it's not possible for me to go back and watch every freaking NFL video using all 22 film, nor do I want to. So appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of my thoughts in the comment section.